Thanks for tuning in to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. Here you'll find tips, insight, and information to help your music and your ministry succeed. Whether you're a singer, a musician, or a songwriter, we want to help you where you are, but we also want to help you get to where you want to go. We believe that our talents are God's gift to us, but what we do with those are our gift back to God. Yesterday's information is important, but what we can learn today will make this the best day yet. The Charles Novell School of Music is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, October 18th and 19th for a weekend regional training session. You can study voice, instrumentation, songwriting, social media, technology, and so much more. For more information, reach out to us at www.cnsmusic.com. Hey guys, we are back for another episode of the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. Hope you're doing well today. I am excited about today's episode and our topic today. We are talking basic piano improvisation, and this is a subject near and dear to my heart. I love to play, I love to arrange, I love to sit down at the piano and experiment with different things. And we are going to take an approach today, a theory approach to improvisation. And I'm going to show you actually just how easy it is to build upon a simple melody and start to embellish it and develop it and let it go from something that sounds pretty basic to something that sounds really enjoyable to the ear. This is something you could use for a offertory or a piano solo, or just simply to get you started into piano improvisation. I led us in today with my favorite hymn of the church, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. And special because the arrangement I played is a little portion of my dad's arrangement of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. And this song is super special to me. You all, we're not here today. The Charles Novell School of Music doesn't exist without what I just played for you. In 1962, my dad was 19 years old. He lived in Virginia, where he grew up, and his church, the Church of God denomination, Cleveland, Tennessee, started a program in 1962 called Teen Talent. And my dad won the state level there in Virginia. And that summer went to Memphis, Tennessee to compete in the Church of God's first ever National Teen Talent program at Ellis Auditorium, downtown Memphis. And what's so special about this is, so my dad played this arrangement and he received a standing ovation, and the head judge stood up and asked my dad to come out and play a second song. That head judge was a gentleman by the name of A.T. Humphreys. He worked at Lee College at the time, but he also worked in the Blackwood Brothers organization, and he left Memphis, went back to Dallas, started talking up this young piano player from Virginia. 2 weeks later, my dad gets a phone call. The phone call said, "Is Charles Novell there?" My dad said, "This is Charles." that voice on the other end said, Charles, this is James Blackwood. I understand you're quite the pianist. And James hired my dad on that phone call to begin teaching at what was then the Stamps Conservatory of Music. And if you follow the roots and the history, my dad became the dean in the 70s of the school. And by 78, J.D. Sumner gave my dad the school. And we've had a couple names, but we've gone by the Charles Novell School of Music the last close to 24 years now. So special arrangement with that. Now, that song continued for me. That was one of the first songs that I ever learned to play. And let me show you what it sounded like the first time I played this song. Now, keep in mind, y'all, I was 4 years old, so give me a break here, but this is how it sounded. No. There it is. No. Yep. No. Yep. Right? So I was 4. So the mistakes, you got to overlook that. I was 4 years old. So after about a week, my dad, I remember, went running through the house saying, Barb. That's my mom, Barb Novell. He said, we have a boy genius on our hand. He said, after 1 week of lessons, Robbie is playing his song, What a Friend We Have in Jesus, with 2 hands. Not just 1, but 2. So if you studied piano, you know you get your little 5-finger position. So now with the left hand, okay, so they're both ready. So here it was with 2 hands. Mind you, I was 4, but only 1 week of lessons, and I'm playing left hand. Listen. No. Yep. No. Here it comes. Here comes the left hand. So see, playing it with 2 hands already. So I'm not going to bore you with all of this, but I actually do something when I go out and minister. It's called the evolution of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. And I show how it developed as my musical study and my piano playing developed. But we're starting today right where I started, just the simple melody. Here's what I want you to do. I'm in C. So our melody starts on the 5th, which is the G. Okay. So very, very simple melody. We base all of this around the melody. Now, as we learn and as we grow, we learn to play chords. The chords of What a Friend We Have in Jesus are C, F, C, G. And I'm playing this as a G7. Back to C, F, C, G7. Now, that style of chords is called block chords. That's where we're playing the notes together. The other thing I'm doing here, a lot of our piano books, as they teach chords to our beginning students, they teach what we call the primary chords. The primary chords are our 1 chord, our 4 chord, and our 5 chord. Now, where those numbers come from are off each scale degree. So the C scale, right? So C is 1, D 2, E 3, F 4, G is 5, 6 is A, 7 is the B, and then the 1. Okay? So our 3 chords in What a Friend We Have in Jesus are the C, the F, and the G7. C is 1, F is 4, the G is 5. Now, I'm making this a 7th chord. We'll talk a little bit more about 7th chords here in a few minutes. But if we put that melody now to simple block chords, we have Now, we can double the rhythm of those chords. I basically was just playing a block chord and letting it ring for all 4 beats of each measure. We could change, and that's a whole note. We could change the left hand to half notes and listen to what it begins to do to the sound. So just a little simple adjustment with the rhythm. Now, the next style of chords we learn to play are what we call broken chords. Broken chords, we're going to play the same 3 notes of each chord, but instead of playing the chord together, we're going to play the notes separately. So So, broken chords. Broken chords are where we just simply play each note of the scale on each beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. One other thing why I'm here, our books don't necessarily teach us this, but I like to explain this as if I'm working with a student, we're at this point. In music, we have what we call close and open harmony. The primary chords, the way the books teach us, we have the C chord in what we call root position because C is on bottom. It's the 1, the 3, and the 5. Now, our F chord is what we say inverted. We're playing the C on bottom, F in the middle, A on top. Now, this is called close harmony. If I played root position, here's the C, and then here's the F. But we literally move our hand to do that. Close harmony, we're keeping the chords together. Same thing with the G7. I'm dropping my 5th finger 1 key to B, and then the F and the G, middle and the top. Okay? So that keeps us here, kind of in a position versus moving around for open harmony. So close harmony is where we keep our chords close together. All right, now, so very, very simple. The next thing that we can start to do is spread our left hand out from 1 octave to 2 octaves. Now, our chords are triads. Triads are 3-note chords. We have 3 notes in a chord. We can play them in any order that we want. Those simple broken, I'm playing 1, 3, 5, 3. We could do 1, 5, 3, 5. We could do any combination of those notes that we want. So the same thing should be true if we expand our left hand from 1 octave to 2. Okay, so I am starting on C2 on the keyboard. It's the second C up from the bottom of the keyboard. And our 3 notes of the C chord are C, E, and G. So I am just spreading these out. That interval right there is a 10th. The root is the C with my pinky, 2nd finger on the G. I'm reaching an octave higher for the E. That's where we get the 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 puts us on that E. Okay? Now, 10ths are easy for me to reach in a block style, but that's a stretch. So we're talking broken though. We're playing. Okay? So with that simple melody, right? So that simple, you all, that simple spreading the left hand out into 2 octaves begins to make a huge difference in the sound. All right. So exact same notes. All I'm doing is spreading the left hand out. Now there's a couple, while we're here, there's a couple patterns I like to use. I like to use this. That's not what I played. Here's what it sounds like with that. The 10, rotating it with the 5, coming to the D, the 9, back to the 5, octave, and start over. I'm switching to the 4 chord, the F chord, following the same pattern. The 1, the 5, the 10, 5, 9, 5, octave, 5. Sorry. On that 5-7, I'm playing the 1, the 5, the 7, which is the F, the 1, the 3, or the 8, the 10. Okay, so any combination, y'all, of these notes that you want to do. Now, to start, we're doing some things in the left hand. To talk the right hand a little bit, to fill out some things in the right hand, we can simply go from single note, right, to octaves. Right, and listen to the sound difference. So the octaves in the right hand, again, just start to make the sound a little bigger, a little fuller. The next thing we do in the right hand, following our melody, on the downbeat of each measure, our progression again was C, C, F, F, C, C, G7, G7 for the first half. Our melody starts on the G. Our first chord is the C chord in the left hand. There are 3 notes in that C chord, C, E, and G. G's my melody. I'm missing the C and the E. So on the downbeat of each measure, I'm going to fill in the missing notes of the chord that we're playing in the left hand. It'll sound like this. Okay, so starts to fill out. Melody, G, missing notes, C and E, all 4 together. We're forming 4-note chords here. C's my melody, but we go to the F chord. I'm missing the F and the A. Melody goes to A. I'm filling in the C and the F. Back to C chord. My melody's G, so C and E in the middle. G. D's my melody, so the G and the B. You could put the F in if you wanted to make it the 7. Back to... Okay, now, you don't have to just do it on the... You could do it everywhere or wherever. Okay, so I'm filling in a few more 4-note chords as we go there. Hey, Rob Novell here with the Charles Novell School of Music. I wanted to take a second to tell you about our next national session, CNS 25, that'll be taking place June 22nd through the 28th at Bethel University in McKenzie, Tennessee. What could God do with your life, your music, and your ministry if you simply gave Him 1 week of your time? At CNS, you can study voice, piano, guitar, songwriting, bass guitar, drums, sound and technology, social media, group training, and more. For more information, reach out to us at www.cnsmusic.com. Okay, guys, we are back. So listen, it is literally that simple to take basic melodies and start evolving them, embellishing them to make them sound more, the difference between right to all of this is just if you know your chords, if you can build your chords and you understand octaves, you understand intervals. We're simply taking a single note melody. We're making in the right hand, we're taking a single note melody, we're playing it in octaves, then we are adding in the missing notes of the chords on the downbeat of each measure. Left hand, we talk the difference between block and broken. We talked close and open harmony. We switch to 2-octave left hand. We move to open harmony here. Okay. The next thing that we get into is we start chord substitution. We start to replace or substitute a new chord for one of the previous primary chords that we had played. The easiest and the best way, the first place to start is let's talk a little deeper on seventh chords. When we were playing earlier in our primary chords, the 1, the 4, I said the 5 was a 5/7. We have 5 different types of seventh chords in music. We're going to talk about 2 today. We're going to talk about what we call dominant sevenths, and we're going to talk about what we call major sevenths. Dominant sevenths are a little bit, they're the most frequently used dominantly, so they got named the dominant sevenths. And then we have the major sevenths. Dominant sevenths are a little bit more of our gospel, country music. Major sevenths are a little bit more jazz, pop oriented, the difference in their sound. A C7, just a plain, if you see or hear a C7 chord, whenever we add the 7 to the letter, that refers to the dominant 7 version. Here's the dominant C7. The major 7 would have to be notated C Maj 7 or a triangle. If you happen to see a chart with a triangle, that refers to major 7. This is what a major 7 sounds like compared to the dominant. Okay. Now, the easiest way to build our seventh chords is to look at it this way. We have our root, our third, our fifth. Put your thumb on the octave. To play the dominant 7, you're going to drop down 2 notes from the octave. There is the dominant 7. To play a major 7, you're just coming down a half step. You're coming down 1 key. Okay? So, where a while ago we played, right, the C chord, I'm right out of the chute. Let's make this a C major 7. I'm going to go to an F major 7. Back to C. What I'm doing there on the G, there's the 7, the root, the G, the D, the 7, the F, and then dropping my pinky to the 7 just to give it a little bit of a passing tone, okay? And then what I've done here since I dropped this, I'm walking it on down. I'm going to invert this next C chord to first inversion. So my third, the E is on bottom. I'm adding the major 7. Okay, so, I'm sorry. So, see what that begins to do to the sound? It just really, really begins to change things, okay? All right, now, arpeggios are things that we do. I like on my chords, like a C chord, let's talk the next added chord here. Seventh, we have seventh chords, we have ninths, we have tenths. The easiest way, if you see a number greater than our octave, 8. If you see a 9, subtract 7 from it. What do you get? You get 2. So the easiest way to look at a C9 is 1, 3, 5, 9. I like to voice the 9 as a 2. I'll play my arpeggios this way. I'll play a 1, this is my C chord. I'll play a 5, a G, a C, the 1, the 9, the 3. Okay, so we could add that's just... Could do it right out of the chute. And I'm doing an arpeggio off the 5/7. So I go here. I love to play a dominant seventh arpeggios this way. The 7 flat with the left hand, so I'm on the F. Right hand, I'm outlining the chord. So 7 flat in the left hand, right hand, I'm playing the 1, the 3, the 5, the octave. And then I'm going to move everything up an octave, repeat it. Up an octave. So I like to play 9s. I like playing the 9 in the left hand on my chord. Okay, so seventh chords and ninth chords. All right. We have just a couple minutes left. I want to break down a few things from the opening version of my dad's What a Friend arrangement. So right out of the chute, we're seeing a lot of similarities. Now, right here, what he did, he walked into the dominant 7. Now, right hand, he's playing an F chord over a 4 chord over a 1/7, which works. Here, he's going to a 4 sharp diminished. So instead of staying on the 4, that's what we've heard all episode. He went, which is a really, really neat sound. A diminished chord is a 1, a 3 flat, and a 5 flat. So to go from the F to an F sharp diminished, all you do is sharp the F. Okay. here, he's on the C chord, but he's inverted it to second inversion. He has the G on bottom. Okay, so that much. The F sharp diminished. The 1/5 in arpeggio here. So he went to that arpeggio. He substituted a 2 minor here before the 5/7, which is a D minor, and then he simply did a kind of a D minor scale into the 5/7. So the 2 minor leading into the 5/7. There, instead of the C, he went to the 3 and just a kind of a big octave 2 minor. Here's this 5/7 arpeggio we just talked. Then he went to an augmented 5 and arpeggiated it. So the 5, 1, 3, 5, G, B, D. To augment a major chord, we raise the 5th. Okay, so what he did there, he walked in tenths. So the 1, the 2 minor, a 2 sharp, the 1/3. He went to a 3 major here, an E major, and then a C scale. So there, he's going to a 1/4. And that walks down and back up. 4 minor. That's a 5 minor in the right hand. Back to the 4 minor. 1/5 again. Arpeggio. Here, it's a 5 minor to a 4 minor to a 1/5. Here, our melody note goes to the B, but this is a 4 minor chord over, as weird as this is, a 1 sharp. And arpeggiated it. Thanks for listening to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under the name the Charles Novell School of Music. And for more information on CNS and our upcoming events, like our online school, our weekend regional sessions, our creative coaching, and our pastor's retreat, you can visit us at our website at www.cnsmusic.com. As you've listened to this episode, we hope that you've gained some information that you can apply to your music and to your ministry to make today the best day yet.